Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can integrate Stripe with our Firebase application. So in the previous video, we learned how you can create function, and now is the time to connect our checkout page to the Stripe checkout. So this video is going to be long, but I'm going to split it into two parts so you can understand everything well. The first part is important, then the second part. So make sure you don't have to skip this one. So I will come to the documentation of Stripe and I will start from here. The reason I start from here is because if you have watched any tutorial in the past, or if you have done any source of payment with Stripe in the past, everything has changed since then, and that's why I'm going to show you what has changed and what is new and when using Stripe and payment. So if I scroll down here from the checkout documentation here, I am in the payment overview. You can see there is two ways you can use Stripe. Either you are using the Stripe checkout, which is labeled as a new, which is the new one I'm going to use, and there is the Stripe element. In the past, Stripe used to give you the Stripe JS. Now they call it a Stripe element, and it will give you a graphical, like it has its own UI. It will give you like a little of the design, and you can enter the card details. It used to be pop-up, and then everything was working like that. But lately they have announced a new way of checkout. This is called a Stripe checkout. They are going to host the checkout in their own server. All you have to do is you have to implement it in your application. So let's continue learning about this one. So I'm going to use the checkout. I will come to the documentation. You will come to the checkout section here. We have already talked about the client quick start as well as the server quick start. I said I'm going to use the server quick start. So if I come to the documentation of server quick start, they give you step by step of how you are going to do this one. So they just give you two steps, but it is a little confusing for beginner people to configure Stripe to their application. They tell you like the first step is to create a session in your server, and the second step is to add it in your website. That is what you are going to do step by step in this video. So let's come down here. We are going to use Node.js, and I'm already logged in my dashboard. Oops, I'm not logged in. So make sure you are logged in. Once you log in here, what it is going to do is it is going to populate your key API in the documentation also. So I'm logged in now, and I will scroll down here. They give you an example here. It is a little confusing for a beginner, as I said, to start using this one. This is what we are going to use in our cloud function. And what this code is going to do is, this code is going to generate a session for you. Please do not use this key because I'm going to reset this one as soon as I finish recording the video. So this is going to be just for me. And this is also the test one, and it is not going to work for real applications. So back to the topic. This code is what you will write in the cloud function, and this code is going to generate a session for you. What is session? Session is just a random code like this. And once you get that code, you can pass that to Stripe, and Stripe will do the checkout for you. That is all it is going to do. It should not be confusing. The same way like they had two steps, I'm going to make it that much simple. So let's do this one. And if you copy this code, they use the word async. If you don't know about asynchronous, like how async and await is going to work, I'm going to link, let me just find the video for you, and I will just quickly come back. So this is not my video, this is the video by Firebase. Just make sure watching this playlist. I don't care like why I'm going to show this thing which are from other channel. These are informative. You have to watch these videos if you want to understand how promises work. It is not only in Firebase, it is going to be in the world of JavaScript and all over the world. So if you want to understand like how promise and await keyword and async works, feel free to watch these videos. So I will come back to here, and this code is going to be fine, but I'm not going to use this code. What you can do is you can come to the documentation, to the API here. They say that you can use the API here. So also they give you an example of you have one-time payment or subscription. One-time payment is when someone purchases something from your website. That is one-time payment. Subscription is going to be like a monthly payment or yearly or any other type. So if I come to the API here, they have an example that we can use that example, and I'm not going to use the asynchronous. Like if I run this code, it is going to give me a promise, and it is like a short video and I cannot explain everything in this video. So in the API documentation here, this is the code that I'm going to use. First of all, I have to use this one in my Firebase function. You know, I have no function here. I have deleted all extra functions that we created in the previous video. If I come to my Firebase functions, I don't have any function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this function from here, and I will give it a name of checkout session. You can name it whatever you want, but the name of the function is checkout session, and I am going to write my code here. So before I do that one, I will come back to the documentation in the API. First of all, we include Stripe here. Stripe is going to be the node library. I have to install it now. I will open a command line here, and I will use npm. You know, I'm in the shop directory here. What you can do is you should come to the functions directory to install it in your Firebase function. So I will cd to the functions directory, and from here I will use npm install Stripe, and it will take a few seconds to install. So once it is done, if you open your package.json, you can see Stripe version 7.5 at the time of this recording is added here. Now if I save my file here, I have access to this Stripe. I will come back to the documentation, and I will use the code they gave us here. I'll copy this one, and I will put it in the function I have just created here. And this function is going to be like checkout function. If someone is going to call this function, it is going to respond to a post request. If I come back here, you know, they are going to tell you if someone send a post request to this URL, what this is going to do is this is going to respond with this data here, the data down there. So that is an example of them. So what this data is going to do is, first of all, this is going to create a session key for you, and this is going to be the item they are providing. For example, we have a t-shirt. Let's say we are selling a t-shirt and it has a quantity of 2, and this is going to be the currency name. For now, that's fine. We just use the example. But later I will show you how you can use our own data, which we have in the checkout here. We have to sell our watch here. So for now, that is fine for this example. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the response.send to send back the session they are creating. So the session is going to be here. I'm going to send back the session, and if I get any error, I can just respond the error also. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a post request to this cloud function, and I will get the session they are creating, and that session is going to expire in 24 hours. So that will be only for this item here, which we have coded inline. And on success, this is going to be the URL, and on cancellation, this is going to be the URL. We are going to see that in the later videos, but for now, this is what we want, all we need. So now I am going to deploy my function here. So before I do that one, I'm going to tell you that every video I'm creating now, I have a separate branch of those videos. If you are getting any error, make sure you check the GitHub repo and you have the branch you want. Like, you can come here from the branches or from the master also. You can see I have a master branch which was like 13 days ago, but if I come back here, I have a new branch for this video. You can follow this branch after this, which is Stripe with Firebase and Vuejs. So I will upload all the details from that branch. It is not on the GitHub yet, but the latest branch was the Firebase and Cloud Function and Node.js. So if I come here, I will remove everything and I'm going to deploy my function. So I will cd one folder back. I'm going to deploy everything for now. So I will use Firebase deploy, and it will take a few seconds to deploy everything. So it has been successfully deployed to the Firebase. Now I can open it in the browser and I can see my application. So if I come to the Firebase dashboard, I will give it a refresh and I will see my new functions will be there. Yes, here is the functions, and if I come here, I will copy the URL from here and I will come to the postman to send a post request, because I cannot send a post request now I will use Axios for sending post requests. For now I don't have it here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Postman for testing. So here you are, and you will paste the URL here. I will change the method to post, and we will send a post request and see what will happen. And it is going to send a post request to this function and until it is loading. So this function is going to come as empty here, so it does not have any error nor anything else. So if I come back here, we have sent back the session here. This is how we can send any other data. And if you are not getting any error or any response, if you come to your functions here, you will go to the log here. It will show you everything you need. So I will show you like what the log is going to do here, the log tab in the Firebase Cloud function. Every time you write something here, and when you are going to debug using the console.log, it is not going to log it in the browser, because this is a Node.js code. This is going to log it in this file here. So if you get any error, all of those error will be displaying here. So if I come here, I will filter my functions and I will check the checkout function and see which of those errors is related to this function. So here are all those errors. So I scroll down here at the bottom. At the time of this recording, this one was the latest one. So if I check out this one, this error is happening, and if you are getting this error, it says like billing account not configured. I'm going to tell you, if you are using any external resources with your cloud function, your plan should be one of the paid plan. Either you are paying or not, either it is a Flame plan or the Blaze plan. I'm going to use the Blaze one because this is going to be pay as you go. Otherwise it is not going to work. And I don't know, you might stop watching the next series, or you just put your account details for testing if you want to learn. But I have already done my billing here. I'm going to select this plan, and it is like pay as you go. I'm not going to use much of this. Maybe it will cost a few dollars, but that's fine for me. And now I'm good to go. This time I will close this one. I will come to the Postman, and everything is set up. I will send the post request again. So this time if I come back to my console here, I should get any other error. So I will refresh the page. So this is the next error, and it is in 920. So if you are getting another error which is related to the 200, this is going to be like finish. 200 is a successful finish. But the thing is, like, if you are getting the same error time and again, the problem is with your core API here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the URL in a new tab and see if this is working here or not. This is going to be successful here, and it is going to give us the ID. Why it is not working in the Postman? Because Postman is a third-party software, and whenever you send a request to this URL, it does not know your session. Like, the browser will ignore it and it will not show you. If you check out this one, it has, I will come back. It has all of those data. Why the Postman is not going to do that one? Because Postman is a third-party software and it does not have access to you. If this is going to happen for you, and it happens like all the time, people from third-party software, they send a request to your application and your application ignore you. That's why we have something called middleware in Firebase. So middleware is going to be a wrapper around your HTTP request, and it is going to let a third-party software send an HTTP request to your application and get data. So I will come to the Stack Overflow, and here is how you can configure it. You will just add this code. Sometimes you will get the error of the code is not set up. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to write the code here, and I will just require it from here. And next up, I am going to use the middleware. So they do not have any example here, but the Firebase themselves, they have the example you want to use. As you can see, they also have required this one, but it is a little different than what we want. So this is how you can write the middleware around your application. I will come here and I will copy the code and I will paste it. What this is going to do is, this will be the request this time, and this is going to be the response. and this should match what we have here. Now all you have to do is just grab all your code from this stripe you got here. I will cut it and I will put it in my core middleware. So everything is fine now. If I save it, now I have to deploy my function again. So I will run the Firebase. Firebase deploy, and it will take a few seconds to deploy. So it is deployed now. If I come to the Postman again, and if I send this time a post request to the URL, as you can see, we have our session ID here. So all you have to do is you will get the session and you will give it to the to Stripe, and they will give you a checkout page which is unique to Stripe. So let's do that one. I will come here. You know how we have set up our application, and I will have a button here. So the button will send us to the checkout page. So I will close everything from here. Now I have access to this information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close up everything. I'll come to the source folder, component, not to the component, to the view. We have the checkout page here, and this is what we have here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a button here. So the button is called checkout, and this should call a function. For now, if I come here, it should call, let's say it on click, it should call a function called pay, and I will write the pay function here. So what the pay is going to do is the pay should send us to the Stripe checkout. The code for that is also in the documentation of the Stripe. So if I come here, so we did the first step, we have added it in our server. Now is the time to add it into the client application. First of all, you have to add Stripe.js like this in your HTML. Never download it in your computer because it should be always online, so your application should be safe. And next up, you will just use this one. So what I'm going to do is I have already added this one in the previous videos. You know, if I open the public.html here, we have the index.html, and this is what I have added here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this line of code to the checkout page here, and it is going to use this Stripe. So we have to import a Stripe here also. But if I check out my package.json, maybe we have it already. If I no, this is the Firebase. If I check out the package.json, no, we do not have it. I will quickly install it. So it is installed now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check out here, coming to the checkout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the documentation, and I will just copy this code from here. So this is all you have to do is you have to put this code in your pay function. So this code will require the session we have added in the previous video. How will you get the session? Let's say we have the session stored in this dot session, and I will come here, and it should not be colon here, and I will add a session property here, or session ID, whatever you call it. I will give it, let's say, a session ID, and it should be for now something empty, but it should be filled as soon as we come to this page. How you do that one? Let's say if this is like the methods we have, and on created or on mounted, we can send a post request to the function we have. Let's come to the Postman. We can send a post request to this URL, and we can get this information. We can store it in our session ID here, and then we can use it here. If someone click on the pay, we already have the session, and we can send them to the checkout page. I hope it is not confusing. So if I come here, just put a comma, so it is on created. If you want to send any HTTP request, you will use Axios. If you are not familiar with that, that is the easiest way to send any HTTP request. So you will come here and search about Axios.js, it should not be the first one, and this is going to be on GitHub. The first one is, I think, a company name or something. So if you are not familiar with this one, you have to give a read on the documentation, but I will quickly install and show you how you can use it. So I will also run the command of npm install Axios. So it is done now, and I will close everything and I'll come here. The way you send a post request in Axios is you just like Axios.post, and you're giving a URL here, the first parameter, and this is going to return a promise, and you can listen for then and .catch. So then is going to be a successful response. If it was successful, it will come with a response, and let's say this is going to be response, and we will call an anonymous function here, and the response will be our data. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say this dot session id equal to response dot data. Whatever data we have here, just store that in the session id here, and I will show you how you can grab that one and how you can display it here also. So if you get any error, just console.log the error. You know, this is going to be in the client side, so it is going to show in the browser. The checkout.view is in the client side, so if you have any error, it will show in the browser. So now what is the post URL we are going to use? I'm going to come to the postman. I will copy the function URL here, and we will paste it here. So this is going to be how it is going to work, and I have to import Axios also, so I should not forget that one. I will come here, so we will say Axios, and we import this one, and we store it in the const variable. The same way we have to import stripe also. We use cost, and it should be stripe, and it should be equal to require you know, sometimes I use require, sometimes I use import. Require is using like common.js, and the other one is using webpack, so any of them will be fine. If I save it for now, and everything seems to be fine, and before I assign it to this variable, I'm going to console.log the response also. So what this is going to do is this is going to show me the data in console.log also. So as soon as we check like visit the checkout.view page, it's going to send this request, and the request is going to grab those data, and it should store it in the variable here. So if I come to my application, we load everything, I will just go to the checkout. For now we have this item, but I will show you how you can check out them in the future. I'll come to the checkout, it will go to the checkout page, and we got an error here. So if I inspect element, you will see this error, and this error happens because you are accessing your checkout page from HTTP from your local host, and it should be running in your application here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the Firebase URL which has the HTTPS, and from here I will go to the checkout. If I check out, we have not deleted all the files, so this is the old one. So before I do that one, I have to deploy this one. I will save everything, and I will come to the command line, I will clear everything, and from here I will use the npm run build to build my Vue application. Everything will be cleaned up from now on. So you know, the npm run build will bundle my Vue.js, and it will be stored in the this folder. So next up, I will use the Firebase deploy to deploy everything I have changed in my application to the Firebase application, and that time everything here will be updated. So before I deploy, let's just check out the code we have written again. You know, we have stored the session ID and the data. If I check out the postman, okay, you know, it will be an object. Our data will be an object, and this one is a property. So if I come back here on my code here, you can check out, like if I say this the session, it will store the whole object, like everything here. So what we need is the ID first thing, so it should be session id.id, which we need the ID only here. That's fine. If I scroll up here, also I'm going to just use the import Axios from Axios instead of requiring it. Sometimes it doesn't work with Vue. That's fine for now. Also, you don't have to do this one for Stripe, so I just forgot it because you have already included Stripe in your index.html in the public folder, so you don't need to do that one. If I save it for now, what I have to do is I have to come here, and clear everything, and now I will just deploy it again. So it will take a few more seconds to deploy and we are done, and that's all we have to do. Like literally, like the checkout is done now. So deploy finish. I will open my application in another tab in the browser and let's see if everything is fine. So I will click on the menu cart here, going to the checkout. Yes, we are in the checkout, but it is still showing the old one. Just give it a hard reload, like Ctrl+Shift+R, and it will hard reload your application and everything will be new. Also, I will open the console to see if we have any error. So no error so far. Just click on the checkout. A few seconds, it will redirect you to checkout.stripe and it will show you the Stripe checkout. From here, what you can do is you can enter your email, you can enter some details here, and then everything is fine. It will just accept the payment and everything is to the Stripe after this one. So this is the checkout. You know, like we see it says like t-shirt, and what is the price here? It is because we have put the same thing in our application here. I will close this one. So you know, we have put the item as a t-shirt here, a comfortable cotton t-shirt, and this was like we just hardcode this one. But since this is the index.js, we can put our own product here. That is what I will do in the next video. The hard part was how you can configure everything in your application here. You know, this is in the test mode, and because it is $30, it is 150 and the quantity is 2 and the currency is AU Australian dollar, and that's it, and you are done. I hope it has been informative. I know the video got a little longer than usual. It is because I just have to show you like this step by step, show you how you can fix the error, why you get the error, and how you do that one. So also, if I come to my local one, okay, the checkout is working fine. The reason is this is working fine is because we import, you know, in the checkout we import like Stripe. You don't have to do because you cannot import Stripe here. That Stripe is for admins. So if I come here in my package.json, these are some extra information. We have added a Stripe here. This Stripe is not for the front end. This is for the back end. That's why you don't need this one in the front end. All you have to do is this is how you can include a Stripe, and everything else should work fine. So that's it for this video. I hope it has been informative. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. And then in the next video we will see how we can read this information from the database, and instead of hard coding them in our function, it should be dynamic data. Also, we will do we will talk about security part, because we will not accept this price from here. It should be done everything in the backend. So that is what we do in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.